Good morning. I have the distinct honor of starting the ceremony today. I'm going to give a few opening remarks, and then what I'm going to do is just hand it over to Dr. Monroe, president at BMCC, and after he's finished his remarks, he will ask Dr. Thomas to come up, and then after that, we will get into the signing. So briefly, let me start out with this. If I say Oprah Winfrey, W.B. Du Bois, Kamala Harris, Thurgood Marshall, Langston Hughes, do we know what they have in common? What's that? All HBCU grads. What if I said Martin Luther King Jr., Spike Lee, Raphael Warnock, Samuel L. Jackson? Morehouse College. I could go on for a very long time, reading off all of the names, all of the scholars who graduated from HBCUs. I'm honored to be an HBCU grad myself, Morgan State 1998, go Bears. So, very quickly, thank you. Morgan man, not a Morehouse man. Happy to have Morehouse here. And just quickly, there are about 100 HBCUs in this country. It's only about 3% of all the colleges, but 20% of black graduates in this country come from HBCUs. 25% of the engineers, of our doctors, of our dentists come from these institutions. They are foundational in ensuring the success of our black and brown men and women in this country. More than 70% of the students who go to HBCUs are Pell eligible. Sounds an awful lot like BMCC. It's because community colleges and HBCUs serve many of the same students. This partnership makes so much sense. It's a handoff to like institutions that share the same values and the principles. I could also tell you this, in recent studies we know that graduates from HBCUs are more likely to report that they felt cared for, that their professors actually knew who they were, more likely to receive internship opportunities, to have impressive, engaging projects, to participate in extracurricular activities, and to participate in experiential learning. We also know that black graduates of HBCUs were more likely to report greater purpose, social, financial, community, and physical well-being. When we examine the student outcomes for HBCUs and we control for how much money the institutions get, because we know they're funded, like community colleges, underfunded and underappreciated, when we control for that, we actually see the graduates of HBCUs who are black do better than those who graduate from predominantly white institutions. All of these are great reasons why this partnership today between BMCC and Morehouse needs to happen, because it's in the best interest of our students, it's in the best interests of our community. But I can also tell you, speak to me or anybody else here who's graduated from an HBCU, and we'll tell you the stories of what it's like to be on the yard. To, for the one time in your life, to be part of a group where you are in the majority, and to see how that feels. To, as I like to joke with people, be in the room with the dumbest black person and the smartest black person at the same time, because everybody is represented in the room. It's an experience that changed me, transformed me. I'm here today because of Morgan State University. And I'm looking at a lot of students here who are going to be amazing Morehouse men thanks to this partnership. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Monroe, who will give a few remarks, and afterwards, Dr. Thomas will join. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schultz, and good morning to each and every one of you. Oh, wow. Good morning to this side of the room. Good morning to each and every one of you. To the center of the room, good morning.
Good morning.
And to the distinguished individuals on my left, good morning.
Good morning.
It is such an honor to be here today. And I just want to tell a very quick story. Some time ago, it was last year, I reached out to an individual, and I basically said, you know, our two institutions are important institutions in this country, and we need to work together and put something together. And this individual said, absolutely, let's make it happen. And without hesitation, we see that individual here today. Dr. Thomas, I want to give you your props and your recognition. He's a man of his word because he said, let's make it happen, and then the wheels started moving, and here we are today. And today is a significant day in the history of the Borough of Manhattan Community College, and I would even say for Morehouse College, two institutions that are dedicated to advancing equity and socioeconomic mobility for male college students. We are excited to have Morehouse College President Dr. Thomas and other distinguished members of the Morehouse delegation joining us today. I'm also very pleased to welcome BMCC students, faculty, even department chairs are here, and definitely our staff to this momentous event as we celebrate the launch of a new partnership. At BMCC, we strive to equalize access to a quality education, careers with family-sustaining wages, and an enhanced quality of life. Today, we strengthen this commitment, especially for our men of color. BMCC is proud to collaborate with one of our country's finest, most respected HBCUs, I would even just say finest, most respected colleges, period, Morehouse College, to launch the BMCC Morehouse College Partnership. This partnership, which is being established through an articulation agreement between BMCC and Morehouse, will provide guaranteed admission for BMCC scholars who meet the identified criteria and have earned a minimum GPA of 2.7 and an associate's degree that they can transfer. This new opportunity will open doors for our students seeking a bachelor's degree and a bright future ahead. In addition to launching our new partnership, I am pleased to announce that BMCC is devoting financial support from the Mackenzie Scott Gift to increase the number of Black and Latinx men who enroll, are retained, and who earn credentials at BMCC. We have learned that cohort programs, peer supports, and guided academic pathways increase student success, especially for our men of color. And through the President's Fund for Excellence and Innovation, we are currently supporting these and other efforts. We will be expanding these practices and supporting new initiatives in the coming months, and I am proud to say that our students will now have the opportunity to start here and go to Morehouse College and beyond. We make this commitment today alongside with our new partner, Morehouse College, and Dr. Thomas, their president, a distinguished institution of higher learning, advancing equity and inclusion for male students of color across all disciplines. Dr. Thomas, I invite you to come to the podium and make some remarks. Let's give Dr. Thomas a round of applause, please.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, President Monroe. This partnership, in my view, has been too long coming. It was easy for me to say yes when this came up because it's so consistent with what we're trying to do at Morehouse. And as I've dug in deep and done my research, the commitment that BMCC has to all of its students, but in particular to Black and brown men, rings with all the values of Morehouse. In addition to their focus on excellence. And when we were at breakfast, Dean Schultz and Dr. Monroe were telling me about the amazing track record of students who do finish here and then go on to four-year colleges, which gives me even more confidence that what we're creating here is a rich pipeline of men that we want to have at Morehouse. Dr. Schultz did a great job describing the landscape and values value creation of HBCUs for its students. I never pretend to represent all historically black colleges and universities because there are over 100, but I do think it's important to say a couple of things about Morehouse. People often ask me, so what is Morehouse? And I usually start with our mission, which has not changed in 156 years, to develop men with disciplined minds who will lead lives of leadership and service. Now, for some people, that's a nice, motivating statement. But for other people, they say, yeah, but what do you do? That sounds good, but what do you do? And the answer that I've now come to provide that people seem to better understand is that we produce black male excellence at scale. Black male excellence at scale. And if you think about it, that means that we have been defying the racial gravity of this country for 156 years. Because it is that racial gravity that on almost every indices of well-being, black men are at the bottom. But at Morehouse College, we represent a different idea that black male excellence should be an expectation and not an exception. Most places, and some of you have had this experience, I know I had it in my life, you see a black man exhibiting excellence, he's exceptional. Indeed, just being a smart black man somewhere can make you exceptional. Doesn't make you exceptional at Morehouse. That is the expectation. And we believe that as a result of young men spending 2 years or 4 years at Morehouse College, they leave with a sense of themselves and a set of expectations that defies the way other people may want to define them and the lower expectations that other people may have for them. And that is why we are disproportionately represented in the list of black men who've gone on to do exceptional things. And Dean Schultz named a few of them. And Martin Luther King is who we're most known for. But what we like to say, the dean of our chapel once said to me when I had to give a talk about Dr. King to some donors, so I went to him. He's our resident historian. He said, well, Mr. President, the only thing you need to remember is that many people only know Morehouse because of King. What they don't know is that without Morehouse, there would be no King. That it is not an accident that he grew to manhood on that campus with that set of values and expectations. And he's the tip of the iceberg. Indeed, let me just ask alumni, and if we have any current or admitted students who are here in the room, just raise your hand. They're here, they're everywhere. And I would invite any of you who are here who might be BMCC students to connect with these guys and understand in a deeper way what the experience is that is Morehouse. So again, I want to thank Dr. Monroe for starting us down this path and making this day happen. It's indeed a deep pleasure for me. And now, to give you an even better taste of Morehouse College, I want to invite up our Director of Admissions, Des Portier, who has prepared a presentation. Des, you want to come on up? Give him a round of applause. He does an amazing job. And he's actually the guy who did the heavy lifting to get us here.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Going to talk a little bit about Morehouse. I'm going to talk a little bit more than you want me to, but that's okay. Don't hold it against me. But we're going to talk a little bit about what we do in terms of admissions and talk about the landscape of Morehouse, and I'm going to give you a little sense of that. So let's begin. So again, Dr. Thomas talked about our mission, about preparing men of disciplined minds, of leadership and service. So when you talk about Morehouse, we talk about the idea of who we are. We're a small liberal arts college. We have 2,200 students that are on our campus. Our classroom ratio is about 13-1. On our campus, we pride ourselves in giving those students the individual attention, that one-to-one attention about what we offer at Morehouse in terms of the individual aspect of things. Notable Morehouse men: Martin Luther King, Nobel Peace Prize laureate; Spike Lee; Samuel L. Jackson; P.J. Morton. So notable Morehouse facts. So what I really want to talk about here is talking about some of the things that we've been able to do. So of course we're a historically black college, but some of the things that we've done is, one thing of note that I think I'm most proud of at Morehouse is that the NSF just recently said that we produced the largest number of PhDs of any institution in the country for black males. What I thought was even more significant in that is that they said that we were 199 ahead of the person that was in second place. So that just tells you what's going on. At Morehouse, they say there's a spirit of expectation. We say that there's a crown that every young man is expected to grow into, to be able to wear as they go out into the community, to be the difference maker. And so when we talk about these numbers, we're not just talking about it just to talk about it. We're talking about it because iron sharpens iron. These men are collectively being put together to be the best version of themselves. Next slide. So we want to talk about all the things that we do at Morehouse. They have seminars, social events. We talk about Fried Chicken Wednesdays. Yes, I said it. We talk about the fact that they can actually, you have to remember, at Morehouse, we're 3 colleges in one. You have Spelman, you have Clark, you now have Morris Brown. And they're able to interact with each other. They're able to have fun with each other. They're able to hang out in each other's campuses. So when we talk about social events, we're talking about a collective community where they're engaging with each other. The other piece is that students can actually take classes on each other's campuses. So that means if there's not a class available at Morehouse, a Spelmanite could take a class at Morehouse. If they can't take a class at the Morehouse campus, they could go to Clark and take that class. So that creates a community within a community that many other people don't really talk about when they talk about our Atlanta University Center. We talk about our clubs and organizations. Matter of fact, we actually won the Honda Battle Challenge, and we came in first place in the country. Our 4 guys took it all against Harvard, Yale, all the different places. We beat them. Yes, we did. And we came in number 1, and we're really proud of that. If students are interested in Greek life, they're able to take advantage of that. The Kappas, the Alphas, the Qs, they're all on our campus. They're well represented. So if that's something that you want, then you can go to Morehouse and take advantage of that. We have the Glee Club, world renowned. We have, so if you think about it, when you're talking about a 4-year campus, we're giving you everything that you could even dream of. And you can do that on the Morehouse campus. And a student coming in as a freshman can take advantage of those things. But more importantly, a student coming in as a transfer can take advantage of those things as well. You're not limited to what you can do. It's about what you come in and your focus to get out of your Morehouse experience. So academic programs. We have a variety of different academic programs you could offer at Morehouse. Obviously, we offer a bachelor's degree and also a bachelor's in science. But you could go into a variety of different areas: economics, sociology, you name it, at Morehouse. We have a 2-3 program in engineering with Columbia, with Georgia Tech, where students that are pursuing engineering can take advantage of those opportunities. This kind of breaks down each of our academic divisions. Obviously, number 1, you have business administration, creative and performing arts. We actually have a new program in journalism and communications. Yes, the next Stephen A. Smith may be coming from Morehouse College now. So you have those opportunities. You can take advantage of those academic opportunities at Morehouse. Again, a few more: the humanities, life sciences. One thing I tell people all the time about Morehouse College is that people are coming. People are coming to recruit Morehouse men. into a variety of different fields. They're coming to Morehouse because they want the best of the best in their graduate programs. Yale, Harvard, University of Michigan, they've established relationships with us to attract the best and the brightest, the next students, to fill their graduate programs. So when students come to Morehouse, there is an air of expectancy because schools are coming expecting the best from us, and we are preparing the best to go to them. And then, of course, we have all the different majors that you can see there and the minors. Again, this talks a little bit about our dual degree program. This lists the 13 different programs that students can actually do a 3-2 program in engineering, starting as a freshman at Morehouse. Athletic programs, yes, we're Division II. Students could go into baseball, cross country, football, golf, tennis. Believe it or not, Morehouse has a lacrosse team. Yes, a lacrosse team. Applying to Morehouse, let's talk a little bit about that. So again, how to become a Morehouse man? First, you have to look at the admissions criteria. Then we talk a little bit about how to apply and then about the deadlines. So first and foremost, let's talk about the statistics. Our average GPA, middle 50%, about a 3.6 GPA. Our standardized test scores, you can see that very closely there, our ACT average. Number of AP courses, many of our students coming from high school are coming in with dual enrollment credit. We also have students coming in the fall, the spring, and then obviously we offer campus tours, and we, believe it or not, we even offer virtual campus tours since the pandemic began, and we offer that on our website. So as a freshman applicant, these are the 5 things the students would have to submit. Again, your application, you'd have to submit your $50 non-refundable fee, your high school transcript. We used to actually require 2 recommendations, but we now say just 1 high school recommendation from a counselor or a teacher. And on the transfer side, you have to submit your application, your general pursuit of completion of the 26 credit hours. But in this situation, most folks are going to be coming here through Morehouse through this program having completed your associate's degree. And that's what we want. We want you to have complete your associate's degree, come in with 60 credit hours, then transition to Morehouse, hitting the ground running, going after the degree program that you're seeking, and being able to complete the 120 that you need in order to get your 4-year degree. Again, on the transfer side, you'd have to make sure to get a dean certification form submitted, and then you'd have to make sure to get their faculty recommendation. We're going to streamline that process. I want to make sure everyone's clear about that. We're going to have liaisons in each one of our offices. So that means in academic areas, advisement areas, and obviously in the admissions office. This is going to be a very streamlined process. If you want to be at Morehouse from BMCC, there should be nothing, and I mean nothing, preventing you from garnering admission if you meet all the criteria. But more importantly, we're going to help you throughout the way. We're not going to leave you hanging. If you are getting support here, expect to get that same level of support when you transition to Morehouse, because that's what it's going to take to see you graduate. So how to apply again? You can submit the common application to Morehouse College at this time. You can also do our online application to apply in Morehouse as well. Again, these are the deadlines. You can apply early as November 1st. There was a young man that I had a chance to sit next to, and he was talking passionately about being part of the UMLA program. I think it's this gentleman right here. Please give him a round of applause. He's a great representative of your school. This young man said, I'm in the honor society. He said that I have a 3.86 GPA. And then the next thing he said to me was, when can I apply? And I said, come August. The application's going to be open. You sound like you're a right guy for us. And I'm publicly saying that, not to put you on the spot, but I am. But the reality is that come August, that application's going to be open as a transfer student. He can submit the application. Obviously, November, for traditional students, that's for our early action period. We want to get that in. Students will find out hopefully by December. And then if students are applying regularly, they'll apply by February, and we'll let them know by March. So we tend to be a lot earlier than most institutions for traditional students. But in the case for transfer students, those timelines would probably be the same. But you can get your application in, and if everyone hears the sound of my voice, come August, the application's available. If Morehouse is the way you want to be, if Morehouse serves as a level of motivation to do what you need to do at BMCC in order to get to us, then let us be that shining motivation for you. Because we want people red hot about Morehouse, not lukewarm. We want you to be there. We want you to take advantage of what our campus has to offer. So we're going to talk a little bit about financial assistance and cost. So again, you can take advantage of the FAFSA. One beautiful thing about being at HBCU is that there's several scholarship opportunities just for HBCU students, on top of your FAFSA, on top of individual scholarships that we have at Morehouse. So you have the opportunity to submit for applications for scholarships through our academic portal. Then you have opportunities to apply for scholarships for the Tom Joyner Foundation, UNCF, Thurgood Marshall. All those places you can submit applications for, and then you can find outside scholarships, and you have your federal aid that you can utilize to cover your cost at Morehouse. So these are the different scholarship resources that we tend to send to students all the time. We list them on our website. We let them know of resources that are available for them to be able to cover their costs. So let's talk about career development. At Morehouse, these are all the different things that you can look forward to. Individual sessions with counselors, opportunities where college fairs are coming to you, opportunities where they're going to go through resume review. Of course, we talked about the alumni in the room. They come and they actually do interviews and all those different things, and they provide that to our students. These are all things you can look forward to as a Morehouse student. Schedule a tour. We tell people all the time, come and visit Morehouse, do the virtual tour. If you can get out to Atlanta, trust me, you will not be wasting your time to look at our campus green. I think Morehouse is a quintessential place that defines Black history. On one end of our green is Benjamin E. Mays, right? Right? And then the other side of our green, right where Clark is, you see a bust of W.E.B. Du Bois. Our students get to see that every single day, to be involved in that, to be immersed in that. And we want you, if you want to experience that yourself. For the students that are interested in us, we want you to have that be part of your collegiate life from now moving forward. You can follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then I open up to any questions from the audience because I know I went through a lot. So any questions at all about our next steps in this process, I'm open to answering them just for a few minutes. Yes, Dr. Thomas, just for a few minutes, maybe? Just a few minutes to answer any questions? Any questions from the audience that I might be able to answer about the partnership? Yes, ma'am, in the back. We do actually have students come into Morehouse in the spring. So that is a possibility. To be honest with you, I think fall is the best time to enter in. But we can have that conversation. We can exchange information and see what we can do to work with that student. If they have the credit hours they want to enter into Morehouse, I'm not going to stop them. That's a great question. Thank you for that. Any other questions at all from the audience that I might be able to answer? Yes, sir.
For business students in particular, what are some of the job prospects that they have?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know if I have enough time to talk. No, I'm just kidding. No, I can say this. Business is probably one of the most prominent majors at Morehouse out of all of our degree programs. We have a Tiger Ambassador program, 34 students that actually do tours voluntarily for us and do not get paid for it. Out of our Tiger Ambassadors, I actually asked them, can you do tour for us in the summer? No, Mr. Portier, I can't. Why can't you guys? Aren't you going to be on campus? No, I have an internship at Morgan Stanley in New York. I have an internship at Bank of America in New York. I have an internship with Pricewaterhouse and Coopers in New York. I probably could be hanging out with Morehouse guys this week because all the internships they received. And many of them were all business majors, economics, minor in accounting. So I don't think you'll have a problem finding something at Morehouse if you're seeking it.
Yes.
Yes, sir?
I would also add to that, our students also get internships in areas other than
That's true.
finance and consulting. We have a number of students this year, for example, who are going to be working in the film industry. A number of our students also major in kinesiology, which is where our sports, people interested in sports and sports management. Right now, I know of 3 students who are at professional athletic teams. So it's broader even than just consulting and investment banking.
That's a very good point. I'll give you a great story. I actually had, I don't know if you're familiar with some of these schools, but Brooks and St. Mark's, there's some prestigious private schools in some of the local areas. They reached out to our admissions office and they said, we're trying to diversify our teaching staff at some of these like Hotchkiss. And I said, okay, so how does that work with admissions? You're trying to diversify your teaching staff. Well, we want you to come out and we'll pay for it. Bring 5 of your best students in education with you, and we'll give you a chance to go to 5 top prep schools. And while they're there, we're going to interview them. And if they pass the muster with the interview, we're going to offer them a summer job, paid summer internship, and the goal would be for them to be full-time faculty at our prep schools. I did not seek this out. They came to us seeking our Morehouse men. And that's what I try to present to a lot of people. People want you guys. They want the men of Morehouse. And they come bringing opportunities because they believe in what Morehouse produces. So when you invest in your education at Morehouse, you're investing in the opportunity to be seen, to be selected, and to be given the opportunity to be great. And I think that's really important. So I'm glad that you asked that question because I think it's very important for people to really understand when you invest in Morehouse, you're investing in yourself. Any other questions from the audience? Yes, sir. Yeah.
What you graduate from here, you don't want to do there? Is it like a problem with the credit aspect?
Well, no, I mean, you're going to come in and you're bringing whatever credit hours you have. You're going to have your 60 credit hours. The beauty of it is that we're a liberal arts college. You can dabble in a variety of different things. Now, would I recommend that you come in and not fully know what you're thinking? I think you should narrow it down to maybe 2-3 majors and then actually go into some of those introductory classes.
I already know what it is. I'm just trying to figure out how you fit. That's all.
Oh, I think that because we're a liberal arts college, I think that we're probably better suited to fit some of the different things that you're trying to do. The other thing I think Morehouse does very well is that what we may not offer in terms of streamlining particular degree programs, we have faculty that will find opportunities elsewhere for you. They'll find internships, they'll find different things that'll expose you to what you really want to do to give you a sense and give you that exposure. So I think that's something that Morehouse does exceptionally well, led by our faculty, primarily, that care so much about our students. Great question. I know, yes, I think I opened up a Pandora's box here. Okay, go ahead. Yes, sir. So you had two good questions about transportation and getting to and from to Morehouse. So I'm not quite sure we can offer specific support in terms of your transitioning, from here to there. But I know that what we do is we have alumni and a variety of different people that can tell you what you can expect, give you ideas and tools of what you need to do as you get ready to transition, because they've done it. Also, I think what we do very well is that we connect students with students that may be coming from New York with you, so they can serve as a mentor and a big brother to help you kind of understand the transition and that process and all the things that you need to do in terms of transitioning from New York to the Atlanta area. To your second point about being involved in our community, I think that we have TRIO programs, which is a federally funded program where we invest in specific high schools and areas, and we bring them onto our Morehouse campus to learn, to do STEM programming. Many of our guys actually do tutoring and mentoring to local high schools and middle schools all throughout the area with Morehouse. And then when you talked a little bit about campus safety, we have an extraordinary campus safety area with Morehouse. We have call boxes all throughout our campus, great lighting throughout our campus as well. So I think our students feel very safe and at home on our campus, and I think we do a very good job. We also have an on-campus alert, an email text messaging campaign that actually goes out. If there's a storm, if there's a potential errant person on campus up to no good, you'll get a text immediately and an email that goes out to all people. I remember one time we had a storm coming, they said everyone shelter in place, an email and a text message went out. I was able to talk to my staff and say, this is what's got out, is everyone okay? But that was because we were all part of that email alert and that email system and the text messaging system. So I think we do an incredible job. Obviously, there's room to grow at every institution of what we do in terms of campus safety, but I think Morehouse is doing an exceptional job on behalf of our students, faculty, and staff. So hopefully I answered a good number of your questions. No problem. Yes, sir. I think I only have one more because I think folks are like, come on, Des. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a rising junior at Morehouse College. My name is Jaden Perpignan. I just wanted to say to further on your question, when I'm at Morehouse or any part of AUC, whether it be Spelman or Clark, it's one of the safest environments ever. That's one of the few places in Atlanta where I never have to watch my back. And I'm from Brooklyn, so it's an environment that's safe. The faculty, the security there, everybody really cares about their students. You'll never have to worry about any of the violence or any of your worries that you'll experience at Morehouse. And in terms of getting there, I've had a lot of trouble going back and forth from here to Atlanta to back to here. Even recently, like on my way back here, me and my classmate here got into a car accident. So it's like crazy. But one thing I will say is a lot of the alumni or even alumni from Clark or Spelman, like they're always willing to help out students in need. Or like there's a lot of programs too where it's like if you need to get to Atlanta or if you need to get back home, somebody will be able to help you.
Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate that. All right. On any other final questions? Yes. Okay. Okay.
I'm director of college now. This is dual enrollment program here. So basically, as early as 9th grade, they can enter college now at Vermont Community College, and they can sequence right into Morehouse. That's why I'm here.
I mean, I don't know if I can beat that.
From Thurgood Marshall Hall, we went through and then Morehouse.
But what, I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, I think it's taking advantage of opportunities and programs and getting your students in them as soon as possible, especially if they have a track record of getting guys to Morehouse. But the other thing I would say, care about your kids, advocate for them, set high standards for them in terms of what they need to do. Make sure that you track them and they get tracked into the right courses early on. You know, you may not think 6th grade matters, but 6th grade matters because what they do in 8th grade matters what happens in 9th grade. And so what I would say is be vigilant. You know, dot every I, cross every T, get your young men involved in a lot of different things and help them find their passion in the things that they do. But most important thing is to help make sure that they understand that their grades matter. And as long as they have that in their mind, I think that will help them in getting to the opportunities that we're talking about here. And Morehouse won't be too far behind, I promise you that, if they have that top of their mind as a 6th grader. Hopefully that helps. Any other questions? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Karen Wilson-Stevenson, and I am the Vice President for Institutional Advancement here at BMCC. And this is such a fabulous occasion, and I have heard from more than just you and President Monroe about your 8, 9, 10, and 11-year-old young men who are ready, that you are priming to be a part of this program. So we are here, President Thomas, for the long haul, okay, with this partnership. And to that end, I would like to invite you and Dr. Monroe to the front, please, so that we can officially sign these agreements.
I just want to take a moment out to, again, thank you, Dr. Thomas, for extending this tremendous opportunity to not only BMCC, but to the students that we serve today and the students that we will serve tomorrow. Morehouse College is an exceptional institution, and we have exceptional students. We have exceptional faculty, we have exceptional staff, and we look forward to great things working in partnership with Morehouse College. And I want to just thank everyone that had an opportunity to pull this event together, and thank each of you that made the decision to be here today, because this is important not only for us individually, but as a community. So thank you, everyone, for all that you've done to make this happen.
Okay. I'd like to invite you all to join us for lunch. We're going to have an opportunity for students and the Morehouse alums and students to hang around and have a chat and chew and share experiences and answer questions and do a deeper dive into what it's going to be like to become Morehouse Men. So thank you very, very much. And before we actually get into the luncheon, I'm going to ask Marva Craig to come up to say a few words, and then ask Dean Schultz to do the invocation.
It's really a pleasure to be here this morning. And I just want to make sure BMCC is in the house. BMCC, if you're here, let Morehouse know how we do this, right? Hold on. Hold on. Start here. Go anywhere. Start here. Go anywhere. That's how we do, okay? But let's take it back to like 1705, because I'm hearing about Morehouse. I'm going to take it back to 1705 because we're in this building. And in 1705, Queen Anne gave a plot of land to Trinity Church. Trinity Church gave a piece of land that includes this one to King's College. King's College was eventually closed because of the Revolutionary War. King's College at some point had a president named Stephen. And when they closed because of the Revolutionary War, King's College eventually reopened. It was meant to be that education would take place in this space. King's College, because of the Revolutionary War, renamed themselves, and they became Columbia University. And they moved uptown. This became office space and what have you. But Steve Fiddiman, Miles, and Shirley gave this to us. The Fiddimans gave the office building to us because it was meant to be that education should take place in this space. So who were the people in King's College at that time? They were white men. They gave us people like Alexander Hamilton, like John Jay. They were in this space. King's College, even though it was closed, it reopened. BMCC also, after we got the space, on 9/11, we all know what happened to our building. It was struck by 7 World Trade Center. And we closed the building. But we reopened as Fiddiman Hall because it was meant to be that education would take place in this building. Who would think that I would be talking about King's College and the men there? And in this year of 2022, I watched two black men, president of colleges, sit here and sign an agreement because it was meant to be that education would take place here. So we have our motto, start here, go anywhere. And today, it's on full display that our students can start here and go anywhere. And to Morehouse, we thank you for showcasing to our students that when we hand them over to you, many of the experiences that they have here, you will take them and you will treat them like we treat many of them here as well. So thank you all, and education will continue in this space. Thank you.